So I just got done watching this interview on Kevin Ioli's YouTube channel from Yahoo Sports with Leonard Ellerbe, CEO of Mayweather Promotions. Pretty damn good interview, man. Pretty good interview. The link for that interview is in the description. But I want to point out a few things about the interview regarding Floyd Mayweather going to the UFC that Kevin Ioli asked Leonard Ellerbe about. And one other thing that stood out also in the interview, you got to watch the interview in its entirety. It's a pretty good interview, though. But one other thing that was pretty interesting was Leonard Ellerbe was bug dancing. Kevin Ioli asked Leonard Ellerbe a question about the mainstream media being mostly dominated by people classified as white and the mistreatment of black boxers, right? He was basically talking about Gervonta Tank Davis and how, you know, Gervonta's last performance under the Mayweather-McGregor undercard was underwhelming. You know, he didn't make weight, he missed weight, and when he was, you know, fighting, it was less to be desired. He wasn't at his best, you know. And he said, and Kevin Ioli basically said, if somebody that was classified as white or had the complexion for protection under that same circumstance, and it was a great question by Kevin. He asked Leonard, do you think if somebody white under that same circumstance would be under that same scrutiny, right? Some to that effect. I'm kind of paraphrasing, but that was basically what the gist of the question regarding Gervonta Tank Davis. And Leonard Ellerbe, like I said, was kind of bug dancing. He basically said, you know, I do agree that there's mistreatment of boxers who are black, and the question was actually around minorities, but we know specifically we're dealing with black boxers. But Leonard Ellerbe was like, yeah, I agree for the most part that black boxers are getting mistreated, but Gervonta come from a rough background and he's outspoken. That's kind of why he's being mistreated. And again, I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he was insisting, Leonard Ellerbe. And I was like, you know, there's somebody in the same ilk, but a different complexion for protection. Somebody classified as white by the name of Conor McGregor, who comes from a so-called rough background and is outspoken, and no matter what he does, he gets praise. You know, he gets knocked out by Floyd Mayweather, right? Goes into a different, you know, realm, and when it comes to boxing, because he never boxed before and professionally. So he goes into boxing, gets knocked out, hasn't fought anybody since he got knocked out by Floyd, hasn't defended his titles, hasn't fought anybody in the UFC, gets away with racist remarks, calling Floyd Mayweather, saying dance for me boy, insinuating that Floyd was a monkey from the Rocky movie. You know, I consider Conor an open white supremacist, but all of that rhetoric, he gets praised by the dominant white society mainstream media. So that's what I was thinking when Leonard Ellerbe answered that question. I was like, this dude is, you know, bug dancing. You know, that was a litmus coon test that he failed in that question. But again, that was a great question by Kevin Ioli. You know, to spark that conversation regarding Gervonta Tank Davis and his mistreatment under the mainstream media. You know, great question. But regarding the title of this video, where Leonard Ellerbe mentioned that Floyd should not go into the UFC, Kevin Ioli asked him another great question. He asked him about, you know, is Floyd serious going into the UFC and fighting in MMA? And Leonard Ellerbe acknowledged, yes, he is. And he also acknowledged that Floyd never consulted with Leonard Ellerbe, you know, for his advice. Basically, Floyd is his own man, his own boss. He may, you know, he may call up or ask for advice from Al Heyman, because Al Heyman was considered his father. In an interview he did a couple years ago, he called Al Heyman his father, his daddy, you know, basically. But for the most part, Floyd does what he wants to do. And, you know, just like I said in my live stream last Friday, my weekly live stream, I said, once Floyd gets knocked out or choked out in the UFC, the dominant white society, mainstream media is going to hold this against him. They're going to hold it to the point where they're going to consider this a victory. And they're going to consider this more important than his 50-0 boxing record and his legacy in boxing. They're going to say he's 50-1. They're going to say he ducked everybody in between 147 and 160, like the Terrence Crawfords of the world, the Errol Spencers of the world, the Keith Thurmans of the world, Jeff Horns of the world, the Triple G's of the world, the Canelos of the world. They're going to say that he ducked everybody. He ducked all of those fighters at 41, by the way, going on 42, to fight in the UFC. They're going to hold this against him. I can see that right now. And I said it on my live stream Friday. So, you know, for me, this is a bad look for Floyd going to the UFC. And they're also going to consider him broke. They're also going to say, well, he's doing this for the money. He needs the money. He spent all his money on Bugattis and this luxurious lifestyle. They're going to say that, you know, if not, they're already saying it right now. They're going to say all that stuff. I can see it happening right now. And they're going to set up a mega fight between him and Conor McGregor. That's why Conor McGregor hasn't fought anybody since he got knocked out last year, August, in the UFC. So they're setting up another mega fight for this year. And, you know, Floyd's going to make his UFC debut. But Leonard Ellerbe advised that Floyd should not go into the UFC and fight because he said that, you know, he's worried about his health. His health is very important to him. And, you know, they're close friends, you know. So, yeah, like I said, you know, this dude, they know that Floyd got hands. They know he's one of the best boxers, pure boxers to ever live. They're not going to box this guy. They're going to take him down and choke him out within under 20 seconds. Bottom line. So that's what's going to happen. And that's what the mainstream white supremacist media is going to hold against him. They're going to say that he's 50-1. His legacy is ruined. This, that, and the third. And that's it. You know, they're going to say he's a ducker. He's a runner. He's a boring fighter in boxing. And he doesn't have enough money. He's broke. They're going to say all that stuff, man. But yeah, this was a great interview by Kevin Iole. They brought up some upcoming fights that Mayweather Promotions is promoting, like the upcoming Jesse Vargas Broner fight that's coming up April 21st. I'm on his verified Twitter account. Badu Jack is fighting coming up soon. You know, so he has a lot of fighters, you know, under the Mayweather Promotions belt that he's promoting that's coming up with some fights in the near future. So, but again, the link to that interview on Kevin Iole's Yahoo page is in the description. Check it out from Leonard Ellerbe. And yeah, man, like I said, they're gonna once Floyd makes his UFC debut and gets knocked out or choked out, they're gonna have this loss. They're gonna supersede this loss and saying that his boxing record is ruined, his legacy is ruined, forever tainted, yada yada yada. You know, they're gonna try to just assassinate this man's legacy and destroy it, because that's the only thing they can do with this man, because his boxing record is perfect. You know, it's impeccable, and the dominant white society envies that. They want to see this man lose. So anyway, family, those are my thoughts on that interview. Again, the link to that interview is in the description. Check it out below. All right, family. And again, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit that bell notification icon. Every Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern time, I will be doing a live stream to cover the latest issues in Black society. Just offer my opinion and chop it up with my subscribers, interact with them. So every Friday, 10 p.m. All right, make sure y'all be there. All right, family. Until next time, Chauncey, a.k.a. the Black Separatist, signing out.